Have a great day, students. Today we are going to discuss on context switching and context switching triggers. Before moving further, just review the previous session. In last session, what we have learned. In previous session, we learn what is the process. The typical definition of process is a program in execution. Process is an active entity. The main difference between program and process is that program is user written and process is generated by operating system who run small part of that program. The program is converted into different processes to execute by CPU. Multiple processes present in a program at the time of execution. Process contain different parts, that is text section, data section, heap section and stack section. It is the basic information of process which is stored in memory. In text section, a process does not mean only program, but it could contain some part called as a text section. It may contain the current activity represented by the value of program counter and the contents of CPU register. Next, in data section. The data section stores the global variable. Global variables are accessible throughout the program. Next, that is the heap. Heap, sometimes it is necessary to use dynamic memory allocation while the execution of program. The heap is a part which is used for dynamic memory allocation like malloc, alloc. And last, that is the stack. Another part of the process is stack. Stack is basically used to store the temporary values. The temporary values can be parameter or return values of the functions. Values can be parameter or return values of the function. Local variables, address of the return values like. Next, that is the process state. As the process runs, it changes its state. Process states are the different stage through which it passes. The state of process is defined in part by the current activity of that process. During the lifespan of process, its execution status may be in one of these state. It may be new state, ready state, running state, waiting state or terminated state. Basically, new state, the process is being created. Here the process is created. In running state, the process is currently running and has control of CPU. That is, instructions are being executed one after another. Waiting state. The process is currently able to run but must wait until a CPU becomes available or maybe IO devices available. Ready state is responsible. The process is in memory and will be assigned to the CPU. And last, that is the terminated state. Here the process has finished the execution. and it's deallocate the memory. Next, that is the process control block. Each process is represented in the operating system by a process control block. It is also called as a task control block. PCB, it is the data structure where all the information related to execution of process is stored. PCB contains the information like process state, process number, program counter, register, memory limits, and list of open files, rather than it contain IO status information, accounting information, CPU scheduling information, and memory management information. When new process is created like this, its new PCB is created. If OS operating system supports multi-programming, then it is necessary to keep track of all the processes. For each process, its process control block, that is PCB, is used to track the process execution status. The role of operating system is to involve the system calls in between switch and save the current state of those processes in the respective process control block. Today we are going to discuss the context switching. In further discussion, we learn the PCB. The PCB, it is one type of data structure where all the current activity information or status is stored, which is related to the process. Context switch. When CPU switches to another process, the system must have saved the state of the old process and load the saved state for the new process. It is called as context switch. The context switching involves storing the context or state of a process so that it can be reloaded when required and execution can be resumed from the same point as earlier. This is a feature of a multitasking operating system and allow a single CPU to be shared by multiple processes. In short, the context switch is nothing but one process is switches from another process. At that time, the system must save the information of old process and load the saved state for the new process for the further execution. We will see the example of context switch. Here it is the example of context switch. Here there are two processes, that is process P0 and process P1. There are two processes are running at the same time. It is the concept of multi-programming. At the same time, process P0 and process P1 are being running. At that time, the CPU context switching is involved. In this diagram, initially process P0 is running. It is the executing state. Process P0 is switched out and process P1 is switched in. Because of an interrupt or the system call. Context switching involves the saving state of process P0. Here, save state into PCB0 because each process is created at the same time its PCB is created. For the process P0, it's PCB0 and process P1, it's For the process P1, it's PCB1. Here, after interrupting or system call, it is switched out and save the status of the process P0 into its PCB0. Now, another process, that is process P1, is reloaded state from its PCB1. After some time, again a context switch occurs and process P1 is switched out and process P0 is switched in again. It involves saving the state of process P1 and loading the state of process P0 from its PCB0. Initially, process P0 is running, process P0 is switched out and process 1 is switched in because of an interrupt or a system call. Context switching involves saving the state of process 0 into its PCB0 and loading another process, that is the process 1, from its PCB1. Again, after some time, a context switch occurs and process P1 is switched out and process 0 is switched in again. This involves saving the state of process 1 into its PCB1 and reloading the state of process 0 from its PCB0, which is shown in this figure. Initially, process P0 is executing, at the same time process P1 is idle. When process P1 gets switched in, at that time its execution started and process P0 is idle. Again, after some time, process P1 is switched out, at that time it goes to in the ideal state and again process P0 is being executed, which is shown this figure. It is called as a CPU switch from one process to another process. It is the layout of context switch. Here it is a CPU line. There are two processes, that is process P1 and process P2. When process 1 is switched out, at that time it saves the process 1 state into its PCB. At that time process 2 is reloaded into the CPU from its PCB. Again, after some time, process P2 is switched out. At that time, save its status into its PCB2 and process 1 is being reloaded into the CPU. And all the information is taken from its PCB1. Next, that is the context switching triggers. There are three major triggers for context switching. These are multitasking, interrupt handling, and user and kernel mode switching. First, we will see what is the multitasking. In a multitasking environment, a process is switched out of a CPU so another process can be run. The state of the old process is saved and the state of the new process is loaded. On a preemptive system, process may be switched out by the scheduler. Next, that is the interrupt handling. The hardware switches a part of the context when an interrupt occurs. This happens automatically. Only some of the context is changed to minimize the time required to handle the interrupt. And last, that is the user and kernel mode switching. A context switch may take place when a transition between the user mode and kernel mode is required in the operating system. Means what? The operating system has two modes, that is the user mode and kernel mode. In user mode, it uses some libraries. By using that libraries, user enters the program and those programs are in user mode. After it translate into or transfer into kernel mode, at that time the context switching is occurred. There are three triggers, that is the multitasking, interrupt handling and user and kernel mode switching. Multitasking, because of multiprogramming, at the same time more than one programs is being executed at that time, it is necessary to save the status of old process and reload the new process into the CPU. Second, that is the interrupt handling, which is related to hardware. The hardware switches a part of the context when an interrupt occurs. This happens automatically. Only some of the context is changed to minimize the time required to handle the interrupt. And last, that is a user and kernel mode switching. Now we will see the steps of context switching. First, that is to save the context of the process that is currently running on the CPU. Update the PCB, that is process control block, and other important fields. Means what? Processes are being executed which are more than one. First, they save the context of the process that is currently running on the CPU. When one of the process is enters or assigned to the CPU for the execution at that time, to save their status into its PCB, that is the current activity of that process, and continuously update that PCB, it's a control process block, for the another important fields. Next, that is move the process control block of the above process into the relevant queue, such as ready queue or IO queue. When a process control block, that is the PCB, is moved into relevant queue, there are different queues, that is the ready queue, IO queue, device queue. For the some activities are performed to fulfill their services. For that purpose, the processes are moved from one state to another state, which is we learned in previous session. Next, select a new process for the execution. In second step, we move the running process from the CPU to another queues. At that time, select the new process for the execution and assign to CPU, because the aim of multiprogramming is to utilize the CPU maximum. That's one process is switched out, then as earlier possible, scheduler can assign another process to CPU for the further execution. Next step, update the process control block of the selected process. This includes updating the process state to running. Continuously, PCB is updated for the selected process. Which process is being executed, automatically its PCB is updating. This includes the updating the process state to the running. Next, update the memory management data structure as required. Each time memory management data structure is also updated for the to allocation or deallocation of memory is required data structure of memory management. And last, restore the context of the process that was previously running when it is loaded again on the processor. This is done by loading the previous values of the process control block and register. For the storing of these information, PCB requires some register. In previous session, we learn which are the content and which are the informations are required for the PCB. In that, the register R is more important. The registers are used for the storing the data temporary, because at the same time two processes are being running. One is switched out at that time, save the data into PCB, means its register, and reload the another process in CPU. For that, the previous data or information is reloaded into the CPU. These are the context switching step, which is showed in the diagram. This diagram is describe what is the actual steps and actual process of context switch. Again, I will explain there are two processes which is running on operating system, that is the process P0 and process P1. These two processes are being executed at the same time. First, process P0 is being executed, means process P0 is assigned to CPU for the execution. At that time, it executes its instructions. After some time, interrupt is occur, or due to some system call, it is process P0 is switched to process P1. At that time, save the state of process P0 of its PCB 0 and reload the state from PCB 1 of its process P0, means whatever the information related to process P1, it is reloaded into CPU from its PCB 1, means all the information are stored in process P0 of its PCB 0 and related information of process P1 is of its PCB 1. In short, for process P0 it's PCB 0 and for the process P1 it's PCB 1. Now after some time again interrupt is occur and process P1 is switched out and process P0 is switched in. Again, when process P1 is switched out, again the save its state into its PCB1 and reload the state of process P0 from its PCB0. It is a simple structure of context switch. Now we will see the advantages and disadvantages of context switch. Advantages of context switch. The context switching is used to achieve multitasking, that is multiprogramming with time sharing. In modern days, all operating systems are designed by the multiprogramming because the aim of multiprogramming is to utilize CPU fully and IO devices keep busy at all time. That's why to utilize CPU full, the context switching is achieved. Next, multitasking gives an illusion to the user that more than one processes are being executed at the same time. Multitasking, it is a logical extension of multiprogramming. Means what? In multiprogramming, at the same time, more than one programs are being executed. And in multitasking, more than one task or unit of the program is being executed. So the user that can be execute more than one processes at the same time, context switching is achieved. Next, only one task is being executed at a particular instance of the time. by a processor, the context switching is so fast that the user feels that the CPU is executing more than one task at the same time. Practically, only one task is being executed in the CPU, but the context switching is very fast. So, user feels that the CPU is executing more than one task at the same time. Next, the advantages of context switching. It requires more time for context switching, that is the context switching time. It requires more time because at the same time more than one process is being executed, so it takes some time. When we switched at that time, we store all the information of that switched out process and switched in process, so it takes some time. Time is required to save the context of one process that is in the running state and then getting the context of another process that is about to come in the running state. It is the time consuming because when context switching is occurred at that time, one process that is in running state and another process that is come into running state. So old process, it requires to save the state of that PCB, and at the same time new process reload on the CPU from its PCB, so it takes some time. During that time there is no useful work done by the CPU from the user perspective, so context switching is pure overhead in this condition. During the switching of one process to another process, there is no useful work is done by CPU. Means what? At the switching time, CPU does not do the another task. It is fully utilized for the switching purpose. So there is no useful work is done by the CPU from the user perspective. User does not require what CPU can do. User require only the meaningful output. So it is not necessary for the user to switch from one process to another process. So at the switching time, there is no useful work is done by the CPU as the user perspective. So context switching is pure overhead in this condition. It is all about the context switch. Thank you.